is 18 degrees this morning and everything is frozen, so we've got to get the track Jeep off the back of the rollback because we got to go move a backhoe, a borderline antique backhoe, and from what I hear, it will run if you try hard enough and really need to, but it's best if it doesn't. So we're gonna, another reason I don't want to use the rollback is the primary transporter of the track Jeep is you got to unload it and reload it constantly because I use the rollback. So I'm gonna pull forward. This has been thawing out, that's been thawing out. Pull forward, get the deck down, get this thing off, and then we are headed probably 30-45 minutes away, go see what we're getting into with this backhoe and how we're gonna get it up on the deck. So the bad part is I had this thing off the rollback because I was using the rollback, and then I got called for a snow recovery. I put it on the rollback and I tied it down and made it to about right there, and that snow recovery canceled. So I parked it back over there, left it all loaded up, and my next call was for the rollback, so I had to unload it, go use the rollback, and then came back, got called for a snow recovery the next day, loaded this back up, made it about 2 miles down the road, and that snow recovery canceled. So I parked it back in here, left it loaded up for the next one, and now my next call, of course, is for the rollback. And I would bet money that the next call I get is going to be for the track Jeep, so I'll probably just load it right back up. Can't see nothing. I guess I'm going that way anyway, so oh, I can't see this. I can kind of see. Yeah. We didn't hit the expensive thing on that side or the cheap thing on that side, so we're good. But, again, that's why I really want this thing to have just its own dedicated trailer it sits on. Ideally a bumper pull, so that I can just back up with that truck that has the hydraulic up and down hitch on the back, hook the hitch, and then off we go, and that can just live on its trailer. That's the ideal, because like I say, a lot of times I get called and it's someone's stuck right now, we gotta go get them right now, so they don't want me to be switching vehicles around and load it up and chain it down, and it's a half hour before I even leave. And then what the heck? Why does this lever not go up? What is going on? Okay, we're back going. I honestly have no idea what the problem was there. That lever just locked and wouldn't go up to tilt the bed down and go the other way. All linkages are fine like that. I ended up shutting the hydraulics off, and then it moved a little bit, turned the hydraulics back on the PTO. And it still moved like halfway, shut them off again, and everything worked. So, I don't know, but either way, we're rolling. But as I was saying, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying that, yeah, that extra half hour of loading and unloading and screwing around doing stuff like this means a lot to the people who are stuck out in the woods. As you guys have noticed, a lot of people haven't noticed apparently with the comments I get, but I live in the dry, arid desert. And most of these snow recoveries you see me do, actually all of them, are in the wooded mountain forests. Those are not the same place. I don't live anywhere near where I do these recoveries. I'm usually a minimum of an hour drive, just to the point where I unload the track Jeep and then go from there. So the people who are stuck are usually waiting anywhere from an hour and a half to 2, sometimes 3 hours for me to even arrive. And that means a lot when you're stranded out in the woods, so I don't really want anything that makes it take longer, which is why I want that Jeep to just be on its own dedicated trailer that can stay loaded on and stay ready to go. That's my goal with that. And also the other thing of being like so far away and taking so long to get places is and I don't show this on camera, I probably should so people understand a little more, but at least 80% of the time I go out to these recoveries, someone else comes along to the stuck people before I get there and pulls them out. And then sometimes it happens before I leave the driveway, sometimes I get all the way there and just see an empty hole in the ground in the snow where the vehicle used to be, and finally get a hold of the person and found out they got pulled out an hour previous. So that's all part of it, and I'm happy that they got out. I don't want to drive hours and hours in every direction for nothing. So it is appreciated when people call me and let me know when they get pulled out by someone else. Yeah, I know, too much talking, blah, 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 so here's a backhoe. This story gets so much better. We're not just moving this backhoe to its new home so it can go work or whatever. This is gonna be their new mailbox. And as you can probably imagine, the husband thinks this is gonna be the coolest mailbox ever, while the wife doesn't quite agree with that. But he's convinced that once it's sitting here, the end of their driveway, as their new mailbox with their name on the side and all, that she's gonna fall in love with it, and everybody's gonna be happy. So this is totally something I would do. But place your votes down below. Do you think once this is here and she sees it for a bit and, you know, comes to fall in love with it, and you think everybody's gonna be all happy and good, or do you think I'm gonna be back here in a couple weeks to pick this thing up and haul it to the scrapyard? Check that out. It's like a giant hex nut hydraulic cylinder. That's cool. And there's a hydraulic pump that's driven off the front shaft off the motor. This thing's actually pretty neat. I don't know what kind of tractor this is, actually. Got an HF there on the transmission. Harbor Freight, that's what it is. Either way, I gotta get this thing sitting here. They have the front bucket for it they're gonna bring up and pin back on. But it needs to be facing this way, right here. And I don't have enough room to like sit sideways across here. I mean, I could monster truck it up the grass, but I don't want to. And then I'm blocking the road coming around down here. But so I think what I'm gonna do is I'll pull up and I'll back in here and unload it off right there, kind of in the ditch. And then I'll pull my truck up here and back up and get sideways, throw the fair lead in the back, and then winch off the side and winch the thing up into place right here. So that is the plan. We will see how it goes. Alright, let's do some untying. I got my fluffy gloves on because it's cold out, but it's not as cold up here as it was at home, which is kind of strange. Oh, and loading this thing up, there was nothing to film there. It was so freaking simple. It was sitting in a flat driveway in the middle of town, back right up to it. Hooked that up. They already had the outrigger strapped up and everything up, and I just pressed the winch button and pulled it on, and that was that. So let's get this stuff off of here and see how we're going to get it kind of positioned here. This was most definitely tight when I left, but this was also picked up some. So I guess that means the hydraulics bleed off, which is shocking, I know. I hope this is part of the backhoe. I think it is. I don't think that's any part of my stuff, so. So it's in neutral. I normally don't hook back chains like that and then use the winch to tighten them. I normally always use a binder, but where this was sitting when I winched it on, I wouldn't have to go tilt the bed up and down. It had been a little downhill. I didn't want it to roll forward in the back of my truck, so I put these winches on, or chains on. Dang it, I can't reach that. This ditch is much deeper than it looked. I put these on and then winched it tight and tilted the bed up so it wouldn't roll away when I did. And it didn't, so that was good. Alright. Now let's put it on the ground and see how this goes. Hope I don't get stuck here. That would suck. Yeah. All right, now we will let it out of here. Maybe stretch this out a little farther. This was up when I winched it on. Now it's down. That might cause a problem. It will. Wonder which lever. I don't want that tire to come off the edge because it'll for sure roll. Okay, it'll sit there. All right. Need to pick this wheel lift all the way up. Now we can unhook this thing. It's not going to roll away. I was thinking if we should chock the wheels or not, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So, just think, if the front end drops down and that comes up, will it roll away? No, because that tire is so hard in the ditch. I don't want it to roll backward though and like flop. That would suck. It won't. It'll be fine. Okay, we didn't roll it. We're going to put this down just to get us some grip. Then we're going to have to get our fair lead out and installed. So this goes and pins through the bottom of the deck. That goes in there. I kind of want to switch to the other style of tail roller instead of this whole sheave head, because it's much simpler and smaller and I think works better. And I bent this one up pretty good when I screwed up flipping the school bus over. Alright, let's put this away because we don't need it. And then free spool. So that just lays in there and then laces through, and this goes through, pins in, and this one goes through. Now we can spin it. What I did is I was pulling like this, and then it started to pull like this and didn't rotate, and I was just pulling around the edge of that sharp edge like that, and it just mangled this whole thing pretty badly, but it didn't hurt the rope. So the tail roller style I don't think does that, so it would probably be better if you're like me and not going to pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, so we've got a couple of rim slings here hooked up to our Yankum shackle, and this rope that completely mangled that piece of steel while pulling over a sharp edge is Yankum rope. And in the pin comment and the description is a link where you can get 10% off all your Yankum rope stuff, whether it's winch line of any size, soft shackles, this guarded soft shackle that's really handy, or anything else you want. Lock our winch in. Make sure this rotates correctly when tension comes up on it. This is a 5/8 Yankum rope, I believe. And that's a 25,000-pound winch. And yeah, it pulled right across that super sharp edge at a 90 degree and just mangled the whole thing. Not a mark on the rope. So when everyone tells you when you're pulling on with synthetic rope, if it touches anything, any edge or piece of brush or a twig, it's gonna snap and destroy. That's not true. The steering does work surprisingly. It's got enough hydraulic fluid in it to do that. Clearly there's none in these Rams because they have no resistance to anything. It's a Ferguson tractor. The tag is right there. Harry Ferguson, Detroit, Michigan, USA. That's cool. That's probably about it, because they're going to put the bucket on the front, which would need to go right there. And yeah, I think we did it. Okay, does it have gears? It does. Gonna walk up. Oh yeah, that's hard against the gears. Perfect. Cool. Well, there you have it. New mailbox is delivered. I think by the time they put the bucket on the front, it's at about the right spot. If not, they can kind of pull it back and forward. But so you're coming up the road here, there'll be no mistaking where your house is at. So super cool machine. So what do you think? Is this the last time I'm going to see it, or I'm going to be back loaded up to haul out of here? Either way, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to head off to the next one, and we will see you next time.